Coming up on Mountain News at 6, first responders in Floyd County call for the resignation of a mayor following accusations of drunken tirades. And a woman continues to recover after being hurt during an apartment building fire in Laurel County.
And a first alert weather day has been declared for Wednesday because of the threat for some active weather. Details coming up.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
The mayor of one Floyd County city is back in the hot seat as first responders call for his resignation amidst claims of alcohol-induced tirades and misconduct. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more from Martin.
I think he needs to resign.
First responders in Martin are calling for the resignation of Mayor Sam Howell.
We've asked him to come up here and peacefully talk to us. I mean, he's my boss. I'm the chief of police, and I can't get a hold of the mayor.
Police Chief Michael Cagle says the city's public servants have dealt with years of abuse and mistreatment, leading up to a recent situation that he says was a hit to the police department.
A can of Bud Light in one of my police cruisers.
Cagle claims Howell and some other city employees used a recent fire training in Elizabethtown to go on a, quote, drunk fest, altering one of the department's police cruisers for the trip.
When I got the car back, of course, it's inoperable now. It doesn't have a cage and all the lights don't work, which was legally required. Now we can't use the car. And also there was a can of Bud Light in the front passenger seat of one of my police cars.
The chief argues those with the mayor were not first responders and only signed up for the training as an excuse to take a free trip. And Fire Chief Benjamin Meade agrees, saying they were not members of his department.
We was told to put people on the roster so they could go. So we put him on the roster.
Cagle says Howell told him to turn in his badge during a drunken night of messages.
We didn't want to be part of that. The fire department didn't want to be part of that. So they decided not to go, which angered our mayor. And he also wanted me to go and drive my police cruiser. And he got angry with me because I wouldn't go.
So he went to City Hall in protest Monday morning, saying the police department's future relies on the resignation of Howell.
Now there's only two of us. And I look, if things don't change, I look for there to be zero and there'll be no police department.
The fire department is standing behind Cagle. Meade says on top of not being a part of the training because of the issues, his department is seeing supply concerns while officials are paying for trips. And it would be a shame for the city to lose its firefighters again, only 1 year after the previous roster of firefighters resigned, citing Howell's financial mismanagement as the issue during that battle.
Either one of us resigns or is removed, the fire department is done as well.
The chiefs say only time will tell how Howell will respond, but Cagle expects and says he is already experiencing some retaliation.
But I'm going to stand here and tell the truth until hell freezes over.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
WYMT has tried to contact Mayor Howell, but he has not responded to our request for comment. A Floyd County man is dead after a crash in Knott County. State police say they received a call about the single vehicle crash around 8 p.m. last night on Kentucky 80 in the Leeburn area. Troopers say a Toyota Camry went over an embankment. They say 68-year-old Keith Dingus of Langley was thrown from the vehicle when it rolled over the embankment. He was pronounced dead at the scene. 2 minors were also involved in the collision. They were taken to UK Hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. 5 people were arrested on meth trafficking charges in Pike County. It started when Pikeville police executed search warrants at 2 separate addresses on Sunday. Police went to Island Creek Road where they found marijuana and drug paraphernalia. They also went to Zebulon Highway as part of a drug trafficking investigation. Police say they found several firearms in that home. Wayne Buzzard, Leslie Compton, Whitney Lowe, Aaron Muncie, and Kathy McKinney were all charged. In Laurel County, a Williamsburg man is behind bars after he reportedly threatened to kill children at a church Sunday afternoon. Deputies say James Bell walked into the church on Barberville Road saying he was there to kill and would kill the children, prompting members to evacuate kids and call 911. Bell was charged with second-degree terroristic threatening, disorderly conduct, and alcohol intoxication. He was taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. A Somerset man was indicted in connection with a November crash in Pulaski County. Deputies say Kyle Garrett was driving a Honda Odyssey when he hit a BMW SUV, ran a stop sign at Ferry Road, then crashed into a fence near Oak Hill Road. Investigators say Garrett tried to walk away, was chased down and arrested, and was driving on a suspended license with empty alcohol containers in the vehicle. He faces multiple charges, including DUI and wanton endangerment. He was released from jail on a $30,000 cash bond after his March 9th arrest on the indictment. Tomorrow will be a first alert weather day as strong to severe storms are possible. Meteorologist Eric Dean has more on what to expect.
That's right. It'll begin at midnight. Strong to severe storms will pick up Wednesday evening. Heavy wind, hail, and an isolated tornado chance is possible. Matter of fact, this is the tornado potential for here in eastern Kentucky. Everybody in the WYMT viewing area is under some type of risk. The majority of us under a low wind. You go over towards Rowan County along portions of I-64, go over towards Lawrence County as well as Wayne County in West Virginia. Have a little bit of a higher risk for some tornadic activity. This right here is the threat tracker for tomorrow. Everybody in the WYMT viewing area is under a slight risk for severe weather. Now on a scale of 1 to 5, that is a level 2. Again, heavy wind and hail are also the main threats. So let's go ahead and time it out with Future View. This is 8 p.m. Notice that line of shower activity starts to push through, becomes more widespread at this time, and we'll keep the shower chances in the forecast and storm chances overnight and into the morning hours of your Thursday. Once that front swings through, look at this, snow chances will start to pick up as well. So make sure you have that WYMT First Alert weather app handy on your device to receive the latest information for your area. If you already have it, thank you so much. Make sure it is updated to the latest version. I'll have the complete First Alert forecast coming up in a few minutes. Steve.
Eric, thank you. A Southern Kentucky woman continues to recover after a fire. Michelle Moore was hurt in the fire early Monday morning at an apartment complex in London. She is 50 and lost everything in the fire. Her friends and family are raising money for a recovery. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more.
Michelle Moore was brought to UK Hospital after being rescued from a burning apartment complex Monday morning in London.
And Michelle had worked double shifts and took her medicine, so very exhausted. And her son luckily wasn't at home, so she was just there by herself.
She suffered a lot of smoke inhalation and is now on a ventilator. Derek Moore believes she will recover, but the fire destroyed nearly everything in her apartment.
She also has no medical insurance, so there's a need out there for a little of everything.
Well, Derek Moore says he'd like to thank the firefighters who rushed into that burning apartment to save her life. He says had they not gotten to her when they did, her injuries would have been a whole lot worse. Moore says a firefighter also performed CPR and that she barely had a pulse when they got her out.
I'm blessed because the firefighter told me that another minute and she wouldn't be here.
London fire officials say the firefighters use their training as well as thermal cameras to help rescue people.
But give a great shout out to all the firemen because they done a wonderful job getting her out.
Moore says he and Michelle have been friends since childhood, and despite their recent separation, he wants to be by her side in this most difficult time. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
The cause of that fire is still under investigation. Another devastating fire in late January destroyed the Desi Scott School in Wolfe County, and the burned out building is still standing. Now the people who care for them are focused on rebuilding and building something better. Madison Porter shares what is next for Desi Scott.
For 24 boys in state care, Desi Scott wasn't just a school, it was their school. On January 29th, a fire took it away.
It kind of sets that doom and gloom for the campus.
Buckhorn CEO Joy Delisle says investigators are still working to determine a cause, which is why the damaged building still stands, but they're ready to move on.
This doesn't represent us. This isn't who we are. This isn't what's best for the clients that we have here. So our plan is to, of course, rebuild, restore, and rise.
Buckhorn Children and Family Services operates the Desi Scott campus. It's home to boys aged 12 to 21 with developmental or intellectual disabilities. Del Isle wants the new school tailored to every student's needs, something the 100-year-old building couldn't fully provide.
We want to make sure that we have the adaptive lighting and the adaptive walls and floors, and we want to make sure that we have plenty of room for sensory integration, all the things that will make schooling and education great and help these kids to thrive.
The fire and winter storm cost students several days of class. Since then, students have been learning in the chapel next door. Del Isle says maintaining the structure they're used to is important in this time of loss.
We get out of the cottage, we're going to cross the road, we're going to continue to go to school. That has been so important. So these kids have actually done very well.
Powell County School District is giving Desi Scott 3 modular schoolhouses, a long-term learning space away from the noise of the future demolition and construction. In Wolfe County, Madison Porter, WKYT.
Buckhorn Children and Family Services is taking up donations and asking for volunteers. Joy Delisle says they will take help anywhere from volunteer teachers to cleanup crews. Plus, they need to replace all the school supplies lost in the fire.
All right, here's a look at the weather headlines for tonight. Storm chances will pick up for the day on Wednesday, much cooler on Thursday, and then talk about temperature whiplash Sunday going into Monday. Details coming up.
And we'll have an update on some bills moving through the state legislature in Frankfort.